Hello my friends on YouTube. There are a few things are happening and I would like to offer an explanation from an ex-Muslim perspective. We'll start with the less important to the most important. I spoke before that today's video I decided to call it "What Goes Around Comes Around." I spoke before about North Korea, Iran, and Pakistan, and I spoke about North Korea that there is politics in the situation, and Kim Jong-un wanted to show that the guy is in charge, and he had to give some fiery uh, speeches to look good in front of his people and in front of some countries in the world, although most of the world know that he is crazy. Anyway, nevertheless, it's not the issue now. Uh, for a while now, we don't hear much going on between Iran and America. There was some argument, shouting, verbal exchange, but now everything is quiet. That means, in my opinion, they are arranging when and where to meet. And Iran will be willing to kiss the shoes of Trump. Take it from me. Okay. The other subject is Google. Google is acknowledging Avicenna. Avicenna in Arabic is Ibn Sina. Avicenna he's a scientist and a philosopher. I think he was born about 960, something like that, AD, until 1030. Anyway, he didn't live long time. He didn't live to be an old man. Anyway, he was a scientist and he was a doctor and he contributed. In terms of good man, he was a very good man and he contributed a lot to humanity. What I'm against here that Google, and don't tell me that there is nobody in Google know some history to know that this man, yes, he was in a Muslim country. Yes, his name is a Muslim name, but he was never Muslim. He was an atheist, and he didn't believe in Muhammad. And actually, the Muslim persecuted him in his lifetime. Only after his death, they started to make like a scientist of him. They started to glorify him after his death because they want to show that Islam have contributed something to humanity. So they stick him to Muslim, although he wasn't, or they stick him to Islam, although he wasn't. And Google, I mean, if you want to acknowledge the man, I'm not against it, but to say because he was Muslim, a scholar, and blah blah blah. No, that I disagree with. He was not a Muslim, he didn't practice Islam, and he was an atheist. And he was persecuted by Muslims. Alright? Now, I thought I have to speak about this. Some third point. In Turkey is a European country, although the majority of it is Muslim. However, the fact that it is in Europe and they speak other language, they don't speak Arabic, they speak a different language, they speak Turkish. And believe it or not, when you don't speak the language of Muhammad, you are more of a human, or you are not exposed to the Islam in the Arabic text, then you follow more your own humanity than Muhammad's idea. So these people in Turkey, they saw a man beating the hell out of his own son. So they separated the man by force, otherwise he will kill his son. And the Muslim people are wondering, how can you do that to your son? Hey, you're a prophet. Why is the contradiction? The prophet Muhammad, he said, beat your wife. He himself, he hit his wife Aisha. Somebody may say, oh, but he said lightly. No, it doesn't say lightly. And even if it's lightly, still hitting. Okay? Only if she makes mistakes or she become hard-headed. Okay, what would she do if he becomes hard-headed or do stupid things? Is she allowed to hit him? Stop that nonsense. That double standard. Okay? So if the man, I mean, Google, there are many images to show how Muslims beat up the wives. Some they have blue eyes, some even get killed. I mean, if these people really did not come to separate the man from his son, he could have killed him. It happens quite often. All right? So when you are following this teaching, most likely you will do these stupid things. Saudi Arabia makes a program for cell phones so that they will, it's like a police state, to watch over the Muslim clerks in the mosques, what kind of uh, sermon they are giving. What are they preaching? Are they preaching? Actually, if they preach hate, they don't care, because the Quran is full of hate. They may not even care about that. But if you preach against the establishment, if you criticize the king or the crown prince, if you criticize the system, you will be dead. Huh? That was the way of Muhammad. Anyone, without exception, criticized Muhammad, he ended up dead. Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf, the poet, he sent 5 people. They called him out of his house at night. They slaughtered him. Asma bint Marwan, he killed this woman while she was nursing her baby. Qurfa, an old poet, an old Jewish poet woman, he split her in half. So there is no mercy. Abu Afak, so many of them. Anyone criticized Muhammad, he ended up dying miserable death. Because if you criticize him, it means you are going to turn the public opinion against him. You are going to open all the evil that he is talking about. So the best thing, you should be dead. Same thing. Saudi Arabia is following in the same footsteps as the Prophet of Allah. Now, you say that you are a democratic country, and I was hoping, because about 7, 8 months ago I made a video and it was titled, "Would Saudi Arabia withstand the coming storm?" And I really didn't think it would stand the coming storm, and the storm is coming. But then I saw the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, bin Salman, doing some few good things here and there to change, like letting women drive, building opera house in Saudi Arabia, letting women go to movie theater. All these things, I thought these are positive signs. The guy is trying to change the country. But then, a couple of days ago, it's not that I'm happy with this Muslim clerk, but I should be able to speak my mind. Otherwise, it's a police state. You're doing exactly what Muhammad have done. You're not doing any change. And because of that, if you continue this way, the end is near. The end is near. You will not withstand that storm. That's a warning. There's also a problem between Canada and Saudi Arabia because 9 women in Saudi Arabia have been detained. And the last woman is the woman that was the straw that broke the back. Her name is Samar Badawi. Samar Badawi is a young lady, and she is an activist. The problem is Canada and the United States did not say anything. The brother of this young lady, his name is Raif Badawi, and since 2006 he's in prison because he had a website or a vlog to talk about a blog. I think it was a blog, not a vlog. To talk about the politics in Saudi Arabia and the future of Saudi Arabia. And, people give their opinion. They put him in jail. They put him in jail since 2006. Where was Canada then? Where was United States? Only when his sister goes to prison. And 8 more women. And it's not only this man. There are many other men who are in jail because of they spoke their mind. So this is double standard from Canada and from America and from any country who is just following the feminist movement. Where were you since 2006? Where were you? I'm sorry, no, not 2006. 2016. I'm sorry, 2016. 2016. That's 8 years. The guy in prison. Not only that, oftentimes they will take him out in public and they will whip him in public to humiliate him. Where was Canada then? Anyway, that shows me that there's a lot of turmoil happening and the end is near. One more thing happened, that Saudi Arabia for a while now is bombing Yemen. They are both Muslim, they both believe in the same stuff, whatever you call it, good or bad, and they are both followers of Muhammad. Why killing one another? If you look into the Muslim history, the early Muslim, they used to kill one another. Only at the time of the second caliphate, he was he had some wisdom a little bit, and he knew that the whole thing about Muslim religion, it was not a religion, and it was not about God or faith or any of that. It was about looting, about money. Where can we get more money and women? So they raided all the towns and cities in the Arabian Peninsula. After that, Muhammad died. They started to actually turn on one another. For example, even it is known that Muhammad was poisoned. He died poisoned by a Jewish woman because he killed all of her tribe. So she poisoned his first caliphate, his first disciple. He was killed, poisoned, and the rest they killed one another. They all killed one another. And if this is the behavior of the first disciples, should we now, after 1400 years, wonder why are they killing each other? He set the standard and the stage to do that with one another. Okay? They were killing one another from beginning. So what happened with the second caliphate? He told them, instead of killing one another, there's a lot of wealth out there and there's more women out there. So hey, let's go to Egypt, invade Egypt. Egypt had a lot of gold. Let's take that wealth from Egypt, bring it here to Saudi Arabia, bring us some, and you have many women. So instead of killing each other, just go out and get your energy out and get women from outside instead of killing one another here. So they started to form armies and they went north and south, east and west in all directions, collecting women and money. And the slave trade. Most of the slaves actually that they came to America and Europe, they were traded by Arabs. Read history. Arabs used to go and capture them in Africa and sell them to whoever buys. Okay? So now, because they cannot go out anymore to attack anybody else, they are stagnant. And because of that, they start to fight one another again, like what it was in the early time, in the beginning. They were killing each other in the beginning for money and women. And once again, the circle has closed, so it has to, what comes around goes, what goes around comes around, whatever this is, this saying. The last thing I'd like to speak of is in China. There is a Muslim community there, which it's okay. If you want to be a Muslim, I really don't mind. If you want to be a Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, non-religious, atheist, that's fine. But when you use the religion to attack your neighbor and to kill the non-Muslim, and to destroy and to burn and to rape. No, that is not okay. I'm not okay with that. And that's why I make these videos, to warn people, to explain to them that that's not a religion of peace. That's not peace at all. Yes, you keep peace, peace, you repeat that word so much, but it has no meaning. So when you go to China now, Muslim built a grand mosque in China. And after they finished that mosque, the Chinese authority wants to destroy that mosque. There are Christians now, many Chinese also becoming Christian, but you don't hear about the Chinese authority destroying churches. And the reason is they go to pray, they go to do whatever ceremonies they need to do, whatever. But if there's a speech, it's about love and forgiveness. I mean, that's normally what they talk about. So that will not destroy or kill anybody. That's not a threat for anybody to talk about loving uh, God, loving your neighbor, loving your enemy. That's the message of the Christian. To love God, to love your neighbor, and to love your enemy. That's it. You won't talk about this and you want everybody to do the same? Hey, it doesn't hurt anybody. Go ahead. That does not hurt anybody. But when you go out and you want to kill the non-Muslim, whether they are Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindus, non-religious, no, I have a problem with that. And the Chinese authority has a problem with that, especially that it's a communist, one-party country, communist party, and they don't want anybody to shake their presence. It's not that I agree with that system and with communism, not at all. But even if it was a capitalist country, let's say here in America, and you are building a mosque and you are starting to kill people, whether they are Christian, Jewish, or Muslim from another sect, you are Sunni and the others are Shia, and you want to kill them, or Baha'i, Baha'u'llah, or uh, any other Alawis, there are many Sufis. If you want to kill these people, even though I don't agree with them, I have a problem with that. And what I'm trying to say here, the circle has been closed. The Arabs and Islam cannot go any further out to conquer land or gather women as concubines. It's over. So they go as refugees. They go as refugees thinking these are our concubines, the women whom they see. That's why the rape skyrocketed in Sweden and in Germany and in many European countries because they imported these animals. Yeah, some of them actually are victims. I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about those animals who are going to say Allah Akbar and they rape the girl or the woman. Allah Akbar. Okay? So be careful, Europe, and especially Sweden. So why I'm talking about China and they destroyed the mosque? And what does that have to do with the title, what goes around comes around? Islam, Muslim deny that, but Muslim when they entered all of North Africa, it was Christian. And they had Jewish community in each country of North Africa, from Egypt all the way until Morocco. And they had their Christian churches, they had their Jewish synagogue, and I don't know if there were other religions, but there was freedom of religion, and they destroyed many churches. They committed atrocity toward the Jews. I think at the time, well, we used to have very in Egypt very big Jewish community. I think now there are only elderly who they do not want to leave the country because they feel they belong to Egypt. They feel they are Egyptian. Religion is a different thing. There's about 25 Jewish old men and women in Egypt left waiting to die because they feel I want to die here. I want my body to be, I was born here and I want to be buried here. I cannot leave, despite of the oppression and the persecution, and many of them got slaughtered. I want die here. So that what you destroyed, what when you came in as an invader, destroying the churches of these people, destroying the synagogue of these people, destroying the temple of these people. What you did in the past, it's starting to show up today. That's in China. But it will not stop there. It will not. Because what you did previously, you have to pay the price for that. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you again in another video.